Okay, so money, right. It's more than just numbers and spreadsheets and all that. Like, what about the psychology of money? We're diving deep into that today with Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money.
Yeah, it's wild how much our past, shapes how we think about money today.
Totally. And Housel, he really argues that being good with money, it's not about being a math whiz. It's about understanding, the often irrational ways we think about money.
Yeah, and those irrationalities, they often come from our own, personal histories. Think about it. Someone who lived through the Depression might hoard cash, terrified of another crash.
Yeah.
But someone who, grew up during the dot-com boom might be more inclined to, take big risks, chasing that, next big win.
It's like their brains are wired totally different when it comes to money. It can make those money conversations interesting, to say the least. Have you ever talked to someone about investing, maybe a friend or family member, and realize you have totally different comfort levels with risk?
All the time. Mm-hmm. It's like speaking different financial languages. Mm-hmm. And sometimes those differences lead us right into those, classic money traps.
The lottery ticket thing, Housel points out that, get this, Americans spend more on lottery tickets than on movies, video games, music, sporting events, and books combined. Crazy, right?
Think about that for a second.
It's such a powerful example of, that desire for a quick fix. We want it, and we want it now, even if it means going against the odds. And let's be real, the odds are rarely in our favor with, lotteries and things like that.
It's that old saying, a fool and his money are soon parted. But Housel, he doesn't judge people who make these kinds of mistakes. He wants us to dig deeper, He
wants us to understand the why. Why do we chase those get-rich-quick schemes when they almost never work out? Why do we get, so caught up in FOMO?
It's about realizing we're all emotional beings. Mm-hmm. And those emotions, they play a big role in, how we handle our money. And that's where things get really interesting, right? Because if it's our emotions in the driver's seat, how do we stop from, making impulsive decisions that could really mess things up financially down the line?
Right. It's this balancing act between our gut and, thinking things through.
Yeah. And this is where Housel brings in this super important idea, the role of luck. We tend to overestimate how much control we actually have, right? Attributing all our success to skill and our failures to our own shortcomings. But luck plays a much bigger part than we often want to admit.
So someone who made a ton of money in the stock market might think they're an investing genius.
When really it might have just been, good timing, pure luck. Or they might have benefited from things totally outside their control, like a policy change or some new technology.
It really makes you think twice about those rags to riches stories, right? Where it's all about hard work, but they never mention the lucky breaks.
Right. And that goes back to another thing Housel talks about, narratives. We tell ourselves stories about money, about success, about what it takes to reach our goals.
And sometimes those stories, they aren't exactly, rooted in reality.
Exactly. They come from our upbringing, our culture, even the stuff we watch and read. Imagine someone who grew up hearing about, their grandparents losing everything in the Depression. They're going to have a different view on risk than someone who, grew up in a boom time.
So someone with that, scarcity mindset, they might hold on tight to their money, even if they're doing all right.
While someone with an abundance mindset might be more open to, taking chances, investing in themselves.
It's amazing how these beliefs about money, they can really shape us without us even knowing it.
And that's why it's huge to really look at our own money stories. Are they helping us or holding us back? Once we see those limiting beliefs, then we can start to challenge them.
Like hitting the reset button, but for our relationship with money.
Yeah, exactly. And that leads us to one of those powerful tools we have for building wealth, the whole compounding thing.
Yes. The snowball effect. Housel loves to talk about Warren Buffett, Mr. Long-Term Investing.
And there's a good reason for that. Buffett's success isn't just about, being a genius investor. It's about being good consistently for a really long time.
He's been playing the long game forever.
Exactly. And that's the key to compounding. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about letting your money grow slowly and steadily.
I don't know. Is that hard for people? Everyone wants things instantly these days.
Oh, it definitely takes patience. Discipline, too. But there's this example in the book that's really something.
Okay, now I'm interested. Tell me more. So this example, what is it? I don't know.
Okay, so picture this. You can have $1 million right now, or you can have a penny. But this penny, it doubles in value every day for a month. So $1 million today, or the magic penny.
$1 million sounds pretty good. I could do a lot with that right now.
Right. It's tempting. But here's the thing. That doubling penny, by the end of the month, you'd have over $5 million.
No way. Seriously. See, that's compounding for you.
Exactly. It shows how even small growth, but consistently, over time, it's amazing what it can do. And this isn't just like investing. It's learning a skill, building a business, anything.
It's about patience, discipline, trusting the process.
And speaking of trusting the process, Housel's big on being reasonable with money, not just rational.
Wait, isn't rational good? What's the difference?
Being rational is great, but Housel says trying to be perfectly rational all the time, it can backfire. Because we're emotional, right?
Yeah.
Fear, greed, that gets in the way.
So instead of agonizing over every financial decision, trying to be like a robot about
Aim for reasonable.
Yeah.
Decisions you can stick with that match your values, even when things get messy. Because markets, they're going to get messy sometimes.
Makes sense. Getting too caught up in like timing the market or what's hot right now, that's asking for trouble.
Totally. And that goes back to another big thing from the book, having a margin of safety.
So like a financial cushion for when life throws curveballs.
Yep. Expecting the unexpected, because life rarely goes to plan. Having an emergency fund, not going crazy with debt, spreading your investments around.
So you're ready for those whatchamacallit field mice moments? Houses talks about that, right?
Exactly. Even the best plans can get derailed. That's life.
It all circles back to luck. We can't control it all, but we can be prepared.
Absolutely. And that's powerful, because even if we've made mistakes with money, we can learn, we can adjust, we can build a better future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want listeners to take away?
This. Knowing yourself is just as important as knowing the numbers. Once you get your biases, your triggers, your money stories, that's when you can make better decisions, ones that fit you.
Love it. So next time you're making a money decision, big or small, remember this chat. Ask yourself, what's really driving this? Is it fear? Greed? Slow and steady wins the race, my friends. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.